When we last left our band of intrepid adventurers, they had entered the spidery dungeon of Spinner's Hole itself, intent on disabling the spiders within so their silk could be safely harvested by the people of Spinner's Folly. Once they entered the dungeon, however, complications quickly set in, as the paths within this ancient ruin have not only many smaller spiders, but also undiscovered traps and secret rooms containing lost treasures. Finally, they chose the path covered in webs and faced off against their first immense arachnid. After a tense battle, the spider fled, obviously frightened by Natalia's display of brutal strength and strongly worded rebukes. Let us rejoin them now as they continue to hunt their silky quarry. So, after about 10 minutes of cutting at the web, you are able to clear a path where you'll be able to slide on through.
Oh god. I don't like this long dark corridor. I don't.
A steady set of spattering droplets of ichor lead down the hallway.
Oh, it was bleeding. Okay, here goes nothing. Around the corner.
Alright.
Oh! I don't like what I see. I don't like what I see. I don't like what I see at all.
As you come around the corner, you see the remains of a calf has been spread around the floor. Probably some kind of sacrifice to ensure continued production of quality silk. Several bits of the calf have been chewed off, in addition to the central husk of the creature being sucked mostly dry. Considering the state of the floor around the calf's body, you're relatively sure the limbs were chewed off before it sucked the body dry.
Are we fighting the Dark Lord Chupacabra?
So, Natalia, are you going to step into the room?
No.
Okay.
Can we carefully peek into the room with, I don't know, perception or something?
You have peered around the room, and you have not found anything except a large sack of webs on the north and the dead calf. But as Bethaniel gets closer to the calf's body, you see a small leather satchel with what looks like vellum attached to it. It appears to be soaked in blood. It was tied to the side of the calf.
I'll have a look at this.
Alright. You untie and untangle the small sack, and the vellum appears to have words written in common on it.
This I can read.
It says, "Dear Ventures, we put the calf here to feed the spider. Don't go down the right passage, it has traps. The left passage, careful with webs."
Yeah, so we did go down the right passage. Did a spider drag this thing away from the entrance, I guess?
Yep.
Ah!
They had a warning for you and everything, and the spider dragged it behind the webs and ate it in the other room.
At least the villagers are being considerate.
Maybe they're not satanic cultists.
I mean, they could still be satanic cultists.
We should still murder them.
No!
Natalia's favorite country song, "Murder on My Mind." As Bethaniel is reading this, a large snarling spider leaps from the webs in the north of the room. Where it was
That's where it was hiding.
Everybody roll
Of course.
initiative.
Remember, no rush. I mean, no lethal.
No rush. Now you sound like Natalia. Walks out of the dungeon carrying the silk with her. Remember, no Russian. Thunk, 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 thunk. Begins firing auto crossbow into the area. It is going to lunge at Angela and take a snarling bite out of the defenseless girl. Lay chomp!
Defenseless. Alright, I'll show you defenseless.
As she was unaware that she was about to be attacked, she didn't have her shield up, so that hits.
Oh no.
A pair of large, venom-dripping fangs plunges into her shoulder. You take a total of 12 points of damage.
That's half my health.
Alright, and then the spider dashes down the hallway.
I mean, that thing is almost down, but...
I'm a 10-foot pole!
Yeah, but I'm a freaking one hit for it, because it took half my health. So it can do it again.
Blinking away the tears of pain, Angela downs a healing potion, bolstering her resilience as she rushes at the repugnant arachnid. Bashing it with the broadside of her sword, she curses at the inconvenience that preserving her quarry's life presents. It reels from the blow, but stands stalwart, chittering in rage at its encroaching defeat. Bethaniel rushes at the beast, intent on finishing the fight with a well-placed knockout blow, but powered by adrenaline, the spider sidesteps the swing, leaving the cleric overextended and ineffective. Ara, not inclined to the manual dishing of violence herself, instead raises a gloved hand, commanding the fearsome foe to flee. Addle-brained from enough concussions to supply a full NFL season, her magics melt its mind with ease, and as it retreats, Angela lashes out one last time with a cry, cracking the spider's skull with the flat of her blade. For a brief moment, it locks up, and almost seems poised to lunge once more, but in quick order, its limbs buckle, and it collapses to the ground.
Better not actually be dead.
Do you want to approach it and take its pulse?
How do you even check pulse on a spider?
Rectally. The creature does not appear to be dead. It's just unconscious. It was non-lethally knocked unconscious, so you're good. Like somebody fired a rocket launcher that had a boxing glove on the end of the missile. Non-lethally! The passageway turns to the left up ahead. Alright, Ara.
Yeah.
As you are passing through the room, you notice that the northern wall seems to have a sizable square cut into its surface. And to the side of it, you spot a stone switch.
Oh, yeah.
Natalia and Bethaniel are headed toward the exit to the room when there's a sudden smashing stone sound from behind you, and Ara and Angela are standing next to a doorway.
Oh god. I have a bad feeling about this.
Stepping into the ancient hidden chamber, the party yet again comes across a dilapidated coffin. This time, when the lid is removed, they bring cloaks and gloves to cover their faces, anticipating the dusty plumes of decay prompted by lifting the lid. This time, however, no corpse is apparent. Perhaps, having turned completely to dust, all that remains is a pile of gold coins, which they heartily accept. Now on the lookout for switches and levers aplenty, it's not long before Natalia spots yet another hidden entryway.
Ooh, I'm gonna fucking pull it.
Dude.
I'll step away!
She reaches out and pulls the lever before Angie even knows what's happening.
Oh god, that
Sorry,
did not sound nice.
that was the wrong sound effect. The door opens.
Oh god! Don't do this to me.
She barges into the room impatiently, upending a coffin to find a lone skull, divorced from its other bony brethren. Her shiny sense shimmers, however, and she bats the skull aside to find a glimmering onyx carved in the shape of a human heart. The brunette claims the treasure for herself eagerly, and the party forges onward.
Oh god, I see another chamber. Oh god, I see webs.
So
I
fast.
see webs. Wait, is that the end? That looks like the last chamber.
At least it's not icy spiders.
Ara, you spy a lever on this southern wall.
Aw, yeah.
Well aware of the invaders who have made their way into her nest, the Matriarch has lain in wait, huddled in a dark corner where she could merge with the shadows. Much like many prey that have come before, curious explorers and wandering animals both, the party of adventurers did not see her at the edge of their flickering lights. Instinct told the Matriarch she has the upper limbs, and so she unfurled herself silently in the dark before loosing her hold on the ceiling and dropping silently into the assault as only a true ambush predator could. With stunning swiftness, the enormous body pins Ara to the floor, and with a heavy thwack, a sticky mass launches toward the three awaiting her in the entrance. The mass spreads out and coats the adventurers, binding them for a moment at least. Ara yet again raises her hand and issues the beast a divine command, hard in her throat as she struggles against its furry form. This arachnid pays her no heed, however, its predatory focus too potent for the young cleric's magics to compete. Angela thrashes against her bonds, but is unable to reach the strands with her blade as the webbing clings tightly to her mail. Bethaniel, leaving their bonds to the muscle of the group, casts Toll the Dead. Necrotic energy washes over the spider, but it doesn't let the pain prevent it from biting at Ara, fangs clacking against her armor as venomous drool leaks onto her. Natalia roars in anger, sick of all these goddamn spiders ruining her goddamn treasure hunt. With a roar, she tears herself from the webbing. Surging into the room like a woman possessed. Her sword sheathed, she remains light on her feet, looking only for an opening to attack. Knowing she cannot best the beast alone, Ara quickly incants 2 prayers, a swift word seeing her armor braced with a light glow before she reaches out and calls down a pillar of radiance that turns the webbing around Angela into so much dissipating light. The warrior lunges for the spider, but the beast keenly pivots away and her blade overshoots its mark, cutting nothing but fine hairs from its thick leg. Bethaniel, meanwhile, flexes against his webbing to reach his holy symbol, but pays his restraints no more heed than that. After all, he does his best work from a distance. Natalia's rage seems to be contagious, as he too has grown to loathe these 8-legged abominations, and when he calls down his Toll the Dead, the sound is deafening. The resounding gong echoes through the chambers, causing even his fellow adventurers to feel a chill running down their spines. His scowling countenance says it all, and the dolorous tone serves as a grim reminder of the inevitability of fate. The spider shrieks in fury, its carapace cracking as powers it couldn't hope to comprehend assail it. Now, seeing the pious purple priest as her greatest threat, she leaves the women surrounding her behind and lunges toward Bethaniel. Many legs propel the arachnid with frightening speed, and as its body collides with the still entangled elf, its fangs punch deep into him and fill the wound with venom that burns his every nerve. Angela rushes after the beast, leaping into the air with a fierce cry, and the matriarch turns to face the approaching threat far too late. 2 eyes only glimpse the flash of Angela's blade as she lands with her full force atop its head, shield breaking her fall and slamming the monstrosity's skull into the earthen tiles below. With a heavy sigh, she drops to the floor, heaving from the exertion.
You do worry about this place being a good place to rest, though? Because as you look over the large chunks of web in the corner, are actually dozens of small loops hanging from the walls and ceiling that are holding up piles of spider eggs.
And then can I pull this lever over here finally?
You can.
Yay.
With the lever pulled, the wall slides downward, descending into the stone and revealing another room containing an ancient coffin. After a cursory check for traps, Bethaniel takes up station at the door and lifts a cloth to cover his face, while the human members of the party surround the long-forgotten structure. Natalia stands with her sword raised high next to Angela with shield interposed as Ara carefully lifts the lid, the wood crumbling as it comes loose easily. Sword and shield lower as the contents are revealed, the trio looking upon a corpse so aged that most of it has collapsed into dust under its own weight. Spying something laying in the dust, Ara waves her hand over it, the measured motion revealing a bronze pommel and the glint of steel. Angela steps forward and reaches for the hilt of the weapon, and as her fingers near it, the bone meal begins to swirl. She pauses for a moment and looks to her companions before the young warrior continues forward, her mailed hand curling around the hilt of the weapon. The contact cools her hand as a breeze blows through hundreds of small holes beneath her grip, and small dust devils dance around in the coffin, dispersing what was left of the long-dead warrior. The rest of the group steps back, save for Bethaniel, who approaches in cautious concern for his ward. But even he stands motionless when the curved blade rises from its container and is held aloft. A breeze now blows through the tomb, stale air replaced with a refreshed current, as wisps of wind can actually be seen winding about the length of the sword. Seeing her own breath visibly mingling with the tiny vortex, Angela blows toward it, smiling as she sees the warmth of her breath dance along the edge of the blade, though her features shift when she sees the act causes runes to form across the weapon's surface. The group gathers close, and though none know the language of Orin, Natalia's knowledge of Dwarvish allows her to at least decipher some of the important words, specifically the name of the weapon itself. Imitare's Tooth. With its edge unblemished and even its coloration untarnished by age, the obviously magical nature of the weapon is cause for both great concern and great excitement for the group. And after some consideration, the blade's sweeping shape finds itself in a frog at Angela's waist, the weapon finding new life in the warrior's service as she promises it a nice scabbard as soon as they finish their journey. Giving Bethaniel a moment to heave a sigh of relief, the group then turns their attention to the one piece of unfinished business they have in Spinner's Hole, a certain gateway that dared to bar their passage previously. The party backtracks to the locked door.
You open up the door and there's a stairwell.
Oh gosh.
It leads to the next layer of the dungeon.
Oh god. Does it now? Is it going up or down?
Up.
Up. Okay.
After 20 feet, it leads to a trap door. You push against it. It appears to be locked.
Strength check, breaking it.
Alright,
Oh my god.
roll the beef.
Oh.
Natalia bursts up through the door and is surrounded by wine kegs.
Fucking knew it. Alright, well, I'm starting my murderous rampage in this house.
Alright,
No. No.
there's
They've not done anything wrong, actually.
there are 24 wine kegs around you and a set of stone stairs that go up to another trapdoor.
I'm gonna go to that door, too.
Alright,
Oh,
smash!
God.
Natalia smashes through the door, sending the sending the chains flying off, sending the sign that was in front of it scattering off to the side, and she finds herself standing in a small field overlooking the town.
Oh.
The sign nearby on the ground is face up. Although it's been broken in half, you can still read it.
What's it say?
Wine cellar. Keep out. Underneath that, it says, danger. Spiders. You have officially smashed your way out of the back area that they were using as a wine cellar after having boarded off the way in so that nobody would get hurt.
Oh, well, sorry.
When you go back to the mayor and tell him about the damage, he has changed into a bright red crimson suit with a bowler hat
Like blood.
and a golden monocle.
Like the
Wow.
evil Monopoly
Dapper.
man.
When you let him know about smashing through the door, he waves his hand to the side dismissively and says, 3 times a year adventurers come to help us knock the spiders unconscious so that we can gather the silk. Trust me, at least 2 groups every year smash through the wine cellar. Alright, so he pays you all 150 gold pieces each
Nice.
for having gone down and taken care of everything, and you get an extra 50 gold piece trade aquamarine for unlocking several chambers that they did not know existed.
Wow.
They'll be able to have more spiders next time.
Oh god.
And that, I believe, is that. You all enjoy the winding down of the festival and then head back to Waterdeep the following morning.
Nice.
Zacharias is waiting for you when you arrive and says that word has already reached him, thanks to his email pouch, that your mission
I'll
was
never get tired of that thing.
that your mission was successful, and that the townsfolk are exceedingly happy, and that you even helped repair the back doors that you smashed open, which most adventuring groups don't do.
Yay.
Doesn't
For the
sound
record,
like us.
I didn't help.
Yeah, that was never in question, Wolf. So, as before, he does offer to assist you with identifying magic items at 50% of the normal cost, so it would only cost you 50 gold pieces if you have anything you want him to identify.
No, he doesn't need to identify the book. The book identified it itself.
You pull out the book and she says, I self-identify as a magical tome, fuck off.
I like that book. I really do.
When you are delivered your next meal at the inn, there is a strange object that has been left on the platter, and no one in the inn seems to know where it came from. It is a metallic silver bag with the word extreme misspelled on the front of it. It's missing the E, so it's extreme. It is printed in large letters, along with a warning that it should not be consumed by pregnant women, the elderly, or anyone over the age of 30.
Well, that leaves me out then.
If you roll the top of the bag up, you will find that it is filled with coffee grounds.
Ooh. Yes.
Oh, boy.
A particularly expensive commodity in this day and age. These coffee grounds are magical.
Go on.
After 1 cup of this coffee, the user does not have to sleep for 2 days.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
basically meth and speed rolled into one.
When the enchantment wears off, you feel incredibly exhausted until your next long rest. But until then, you feel great.
Yeah, that's some really good coffee.
You-
I don't need any of this. Oh my god, I don't need it.
You are, in fact, incapable of sleeping for the first day.
Oh my god.
Although you may long rest as normal, pacing around as your companions sleep.
I normally do.
Hey, nothing's gonna sneak up on us.
That's true. Jump, 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 jump.
Look at this.
Coffee was roasted by barista and sorcerer Simon Williamson. He spent years growing highly caffeinated beans and enchanting them to be incredibly potent. He owns a large coffee shop in Waterdeep, but no one has seen him for several years, though his coffee does occasionally appear in random places around the city. Some claim that he finally brewed a cup of coffee so strong that it gave him a permanent version of haste, which allows him to move so fast that no one can see him anymore.
That's good.
Welcome
Oh my
to
gosh.
the Twilight Zone.
And thus ends the Best Availables Adventures in Spinner's Hole. Here's hoping that whole Twilight Zone thing doesn't get copyright claimed. This is only the second of the Best Available's many adventures, and we're already working on bringing the next one to you right now, so please look forward to it. I don't want to give any spoilers, but I can say that the next one is going to be challenging for our party to overcome, and will include the introduction of a few fresh faces to our group. Thank you very much for the view. After all, we are making this for you, and, all of the normal YouTube algorithm sama things, please do them. And without further ado, let's go ahead and move on to the true heroes, the supporters who make this possible. In the tier of unlimited power, we have Scorpius 187, Doodle Poodle, Jay Jones, William Smith, and Denny. In the planar tier, we have PPNTT807, CJ, Someone, All Is Fiction, Darth Cavalier, Joshua Williams, and Sparkle Lord the Fabulous. In the Adventurer tier, we have Bastion Falconwrath, John R300, Shadow Menser, Alex, Justin, @Breeze_Bender, Mystics, Katie, Sneaky GI, Nevia Nezes, and the Rosilla Streaming Network. In the Quest Giver tier, we have V, Slathar Silcom, Robert Mischief, and Drew Tucker. And in the Townsfolk tier, we have Night Archer, Shugenja, Scott Stedman, the Ruin Queen of Oblivion, Sergeant Humpty, Tom Brezo, and Spirit Radio. As always, this would not have been possible without the adventurers that participated and our creative team. Doodle Poodle, Nala Fontaine, Scorpius 187, Shadow Wolf, MC_Cheshire, and the Forever DM. Me. I'm thrilled that you were able to join our party, and I will see you in the next one. Good night, all.